Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture. In today's video, we would like to write a program that takes user input and writes it to a file. Here it's my main function. I'm having one class in C++ that is called OFStream. Okay, it means that output file stream. It's a class in C++. And we're going to create an object from that class. To create an object, I type down the name of the class, and then type down the name of my object that is called file in this case. And in order to work with the input and output files in C++, remember that we need to include these two headers. Then after creating the object, I'm going to tell the computer, the program, or the compiler, let's say, where I would like my output to be stored. This is the address that I would like my output to be stored. So in my C drive, and then users, aces, document, and practice data types, then in a text file that is called output. Okay, when I go to this directory, currently I don't have it, as you see here. Okay, here I don't have it. I'm in the same directory, but I don't have this output text, but it is going to create the output text for me. Okay, so this is a class of a stream, or we can say OF stream, and we are creating an object called file from the OF stream class, and this file object is going to represent the file stream used to write data to a file named output.txt. Okay, then I'm going to declare one string that is called data, and I'm going to ask the user enter some data or some text to write to the file. Then using getLine, I'm going to store it because it's a string with space. We need to use getLine. We have learned it before. And then we are going to start writing the stored data from the user using the getLine that the data is stored. Then we are going to write that data and type down the data and then file on the left hand side. Previously, when we wanted to show something in the terminal, we used to type down cout. But if we want to print something, write something in our file, we type down the name of the object. Okay, the name of the object is file, so I'm typing down file, and then I put the name of the string that we use to store the input data from the user. And finally, in the terminal, I show this message, data written to file successfully. So when I run this code, we see this message, enter some text to write to the file, enter some text to write to the file. So I would say Reza Shahin, okay? And I enter. It says data written to file successfully. So when I type down Reza Shahin, it is going to be stored in the variable called data, which is of a string data type using getLine and cin syntax. And then we are going to write whatever that is stored in this string into the file, which is the object of the offstream class for writing. And now when I go to this directory, we see that the output.txt or text is created now. And when I open it, we see Reza Shahin is being written there. So this is basically how we can type down whatever we want in a text file using C++. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In today's video, we would like to write a program that reads and displays the content of a file. Here I'm creating an object of ifStream class. ifStream class is when we want to read from input. So it's an input file stream. But when we want to write something in the output, we need to use OFStream. So because now I would like to read the input, I'm using the if stream. So if I want to write an output file, I use OFStream. Okay, I'm creating an object of the ifStream class, and this is the directory that my file exists. Okay, in this directory, my file exists, and I would like to open that file. and read the information and display the information in that file in the terminal for the user. I create one string called line, and I show this message contents of the file in the terminal. And then I write down simply a while loop. And as long as there are some contents in the file, see out whatever you see in that file. Okay, this is the condition. So go ahead and get whatever that you see in the file and see out it in the terminal for me. So when I run this code, we see that the contents of the file is Reza Shahin. This is the output file that we created in the previous video. So here is the output file. We see it's Reza Shahin, and I can say, for example, 33 years old and hello world, for example. Okay, now this is my file that I would like to read from. And then when I come here and when I run one more time, we see that the information is updated. So contents of the file Reza Shahin 33 and hello world. Basically, in this video, we learned how to create an object of if stream and give the compiler the directory that it needs to go to find the file that we want to read the information from that file. Then we created a string. Then using a while loop, we are telling it as long as there is something in the file. So this is the name of the object that we are using here. Use the getLine function to read whatever that is inside that file and store it in the line string, and then see out the string for me in the output. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we would like to write a program that appends user input to an existing file. Because we would like to append something to an existing file, we would like to write something in the output. We are going to use OFStream. So we create an object called file from this class. Then in parentheses, we type down the directory. So in this directory, there is a text file called output. We would like to open that output and append some information there. So when I go to this directory, here is the output file. There is already some information available in this file, and we would like to write something more. Okay, because we would like to do appending, in the parentheses we put a comma and then we add this. So we're having iOS app. So this is the scope resolution of the namespace iOS in C++, and then we are using this to activate the append mode. So when we want to append to an existing file, we need to use the iOS, the namespace, and then using the scope resolution and then the app, which will activate the append mode. So this is something to be careful about. Then I am creating a string called data. I'm telling the user enter the text to append to the file. Okay, and using the get line, I am storing whatever the user is going to enter in the data string. In order to add it to the already existing file, because file was the name of the object that we created from the OFStream class, I type down file, I type down endl because I want the compiler to start writing from a new line. Okay, then I type down the name of my string where we stored all the input from the user, and one endl to just to finish, and then showing this message data appended to file successfully. So when I compile, it says enter the text to append. So I would say this is me, enter, and then data appended to the file successfully. When I go there to check out the output, we see this is me. So this is how we could append some new information to an already existing text file without overwriting it. Okay, so let me open the code one more time. We are using an object from the OF string. We are giving the directory. We are using the append mode with iOS namespace, and then colon, which is scope resolution. Then we are having the string. We are reading whatever the user is entering using getLine. We store it in data string. Then we type down the name of the object, which is the file. We enter one endl here because we want to start writing from the new line in the text file, and then we type down the string that the data from the user is stored in it, and that's it. And then we show the message in the output saying that data appended to file successfully. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we would like to write a program that copies the contents of one file to another. So I'm having one text file with some information in it. I would like the program to create a new text file and copy all the content of this file and paste it here. Okay. So this is the text file called output that we have, that the information is inside this text file. So we need to read this text file. I'm creating an object called input file from the if stream because we are reading this file. And then we would like to paste it in a text file called copy.txt. Okay. In order to write down the information in this text file, we need to use an object from the OFStream class, and the object name is output file. So we can name it whatever we want. Okay. Then we are creating a string called line, and we are going to have a while loop. So as long as there are something to be read in the output file, we are going to use the get line to store it in the line string. And you see, this is the input file, so it is referring to the output. As long as there are something to be read in this output file, we are going to use get line to read it and store it in the line string. Okay. And then in the while loop, we are going to store, we learned that here everything is going to be stored in the line string, and then we are going to print that line string in the output file. This is the object of the office stream, okay, for the copy text. And we are going to simply type down whatever that is stored in the line string and show this message in the output file copied successfully. So when I run this code, it says file copied successfully. So I go to the directory. This is my original file, Reza Shahin 33 hello world. This is me. This is the original file, and this is the copied file. Okay, you see all the information are the same here in the copy file. So when I, for example, if I remove this file and I go back here and I run the program one more time, it says file copied successfully. And I go back here, we see the copy is again there because the program created it. So all the information is the same. So here we learned how to read information from a text file using an object of ifstream class. And then we learned how to paste the information in another text file that is called copy using the object called output file from the OFStream class. And we did it using a string. So we have a string called line, and we are having a while loop. So as long as there is something to be read in the input file, we are going to use the get line to read it and store it in the line string. And then whatever that is stored in this line string is going to be writed. It is going to be pasted or wrote it to the output file, which is the object of the copy text file. And then we are going to show this message in the output file copied successfully. And because we open these files in order to access the information, we just type down the input file and output file, the object created from these two classes, dot close and empty parentheses. So we are going to use this function in C++ to close them, so the work is finished with them. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture. In today's video, we are going to learn how to print our output in a text file. So here I'm still including the fstream library function in C++, and now I'm having OFStream for the output For the input, we were using another keyword, but for the input, we were using another keyword, but for the output, we are using OFStream, and I'm creating the file. Then I'm giving the address. Okay, so I'm giving the address, and I want the output text file to be named output. Okay, so this is the name of the text file that it will create in this address for me. Okay. And then I'm having again one simple if else conditions. I'm saying that if that file that is declared of OFStream type is open, just print out the hello file handling message in the output, and then close that file and show me in the terminal saying that data written to the file successfully. And if this file is not open for any reason, if it's a problem, you couldn't handle it, etc., print unable to open the file for me. So I understand that there is a problem in my program, so I need to investigate it. So I'm defining the file of OFStream type. I'm giving the address and also the name of my text file. And here I check if the file is open. So if everything is correct, it should enter this if part here. And in this if part, in order to print something in that text file that is defined with the name file, I type down the file name and then having the message that I want to print here. For example, hello file handling. Then I'm closing that file and I'm using cout to show a message in the terminal for myself to say data written to file successfully. Okay. And one example that I would like to give you here, for example, you did some mathematical operations, for example, on an array, and you want to store the output in a text file. So when you open the file here, then in order to print the output, you can iterate, you can have a for loop and iterate over that array, for example, and then print out all the elements of that array in the text file output here in this if condition. Okay, but I'm having a single line being printed out here in the output because this is just an example of how to handle output storing data. So when I run this code, I see the message in the terminal, data written to file successfully. So I see this message in the terminal because we have the cout syntax. It is going to print out this message to me, but this message, hello file handling, is not being printed out in the terminal. Why? Because there I'm using the file. So this message is being written in the file. And this message, the data written, is being printed out in the terminal because I'm using the cout. So when I go to my address, I expect to see the output text file here. So I click on it and I see in the text file I'm having hello file handling. So this is basically how we handle the output in C++, and we can write the output that we want in a text file in C++. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to learn how to read data from a text file in C++. To do that, first of all, we are going to include these three headers in our program. Okay, so this is the IO stream that we were having. We are having the string headers because we are working with the strings here, and we need to have fstream for reading data in C++. Then in my int main function here, first of all, I'm having the ifstream keyword and then the file name. So in the parentheses, then I'm sending the address, I'm printing out, I'm pasting the address where my file is stored. So to do that, I go in my file where I'm having an example text file that I want this text file to be read by C++. So the name is example.txt, and this is the address. So basically I copied this address and paste it here, and then the final name of the text file that is going to be read by C++ is here. So using ifstream file, I'm telling C++ to go to this address and open, and this is the file that I want to read, okay? Then I'm having one string being declared that is named line. Finally, I'm having one if else condition to handle reading the information in that text file and then printing out in the terminal. So here I'm having one if condition saying that if that file, that if stream file that I defined is open, it's a reserved keyword in C++ saying that, okay, C++ could navigate to this address and could open this text file. If you went to this address and opened this text file, enter this part of the if condition, otherwise enter this part. So if let's discuss the otherwise first. So if C++ cannot find this text file in this address, it means that we gave the wrong address. It is going to print out unable to open file because there was a problem. Either there's a problem with the file or there's a problem with the address, something to think about and try to debug to see where the problem comes from. So I'm showing this message in the terminal saying that unable to open the file. Either we couldn't, C++ compiler couldn't find the file or couldn't open it because there is a problem, etc. So if it couldn't find the file, unable to open the file message is shown. However, if this file that we declared to be ifstream, that is, ifstream is used from this library to read input from in C++, okay, from our, for example, desktop or laptop, etc. So if this file that we named here is open, we are having a while loop being defined here. So we are having the get line syntax to read strings from the output or from the terminal. In this case, we're using it to read the data of this text file. We are having the get line, file, and line. So the file is the name of the if string that we defined, and the line is the string that we are having here. As long as there is something to be read in that file, it is going to read it and it is going to see out it in the terminal. So it is going to print each line in the terminal. Okay, so let me say it one more time from the beginning. We are including the fstream library from C++, so it helps us to read the file. Then I'm having the ifstream and defining the file. So this file, it could be anything. It's the name that we give to this, okay? So I'm saying that the file is created from this data type of ifstream, and this file is having one address, and this is the address. So I got the address from my computer, I pasted it, and at the end of this address, I'm having the example text file that I want it to be read by the compiler. Then I'm having one string called line declared here. I'm saying that if you could find this file that is defined here, and this file is referring to this example text, okay? If you could find it and you could open it, start reading everything that is in that text file and printing everything in the terminal for me. As long as there is something written in that text file, continue reading it and print everything that you read in the terminal, and then close the file. So file.close is a predefined function in C++ using this library. Okay, file.isOpen is another function to check if the file is found and is opened. And file.close means that, okay, we did whatever we wanted to do, close the file, close the text file for me, okay? And if you couldn't find the file or if you couldn't open the file, show this message in the output. So if I go here, I open this text file, we see that there is hello world written there, okay? So when I compile, I expect the compiler to find this file and read this file using this part okay, using this line of code, and then print the content of my text file in the terminal. So when I run, it says hello world. It is printing what the content, whatever that was in that text file. And if I make a mistake in the address, for example, I add one number 2 here, we see that there should be a problem. So it says unable to open the file. Why? Because it couldn't find the text file in this address. So this is how we can read text file in C++. It's very easy, but just imagine it this way. So you have, for example, an input data file that is stored in a text format, and you can read line by line that text file and store everything in C++, for example, in an array, in a vector, or whatever that you would like to have in a data structure, etc. So this is how you can read data from another text file in your computer in C++. Thank you for watching.